feel. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You know how I feel. You know how I feel. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Okay, so you guys are not getting sound. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, okay. B2, 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 B2. Okay, the moment you guys got the mic. Okay, cool. Okay. All right, I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but okay, all right. So anyway, all I was saying was that, you know, I'm doing my best, but this one-man show is a little bit tricky sometimes, and sometimes I run a little bit late. So apologies for that. If anybody's watching for the first time, I love it when you let me know that. I hopefully you don't go back and watch some of the first classes because we've come a long way, baby. And I just want to say big thanks to everybody because I had no idea that I'd be doing, 2 to 3 streams a week for 6 months. I really thought that I was just coming in just to build some spirit with the hoop community, and and it's stayed. And the numbers per class, of course, they fluctuate, but they're staying pretty solid, and they have been for a while. Usually there's about 25 of us, or sometimes a little bit more, watching off all the platforms. And so that's really great for me. I mean, the chance to, most Hooper teachers, what we do is so out there that like the opportunity to teach to 25 people twice a week is just really awesome. And a lot of you check out my jams on the weekends. Those are just flow sessions where we put music on and hoop. And I've been trying some stuff to funk it up. I did a black green screen last week and had a lot of fun with it. But anyway, I really appreciate your support, and the donations do mean a lot to me. Like everybody, I feel awkward talking about it, but it is what it is. So thank you, Penny. I appreciate you too. And Susan and Jackie and everybody else, thanks. And Claire, thank you for commenting on the mic. It's a long story, but I can't always hear it. Tonight's a learning class, and we're going to be working on a technique called balance. And I have already done a balance class, and I think it went pretty well. And you can find it on YouTube. You can go back. After about the third class, the class has gotten a lot better. Hey, Kelly. Welcome back. And we can check that out now. But I'm going to teach again more. I'm going to come back to balance. Now, this is something that I do in my regular weekly class, and this is something I want to make sure that is really important, is that I'm not really trying to build an encyclopedia of classes where you just go and find a technique. I mean, that would be cool if that happened. But what I'm really trying to build, and I feel like y'all are picking up on this, is just like a weekly vibe, just like, even if it's a virtual community, just a vibe of us getting together. And, we're all going to want to revisit some of the things we've done. So I don't mark things off the list once we've done one class on them. And then a lot of times on the road, I would tour, meaning I would go back year after year, and people sometimes would get a better thing would happen, they'd have more improvement that second time around, like hearing it twice or thinking about it in a different headspace. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I thought I would show you a little bit. Tonight's going to be a little bit more techie than flowy. Okay. All right. So this is balance, and I am holding it on the bottom of, on the back of my hand. And I want to try to show, give you an idea before we get up and try this. Like, I want you to look into my technique a little bit right now. And not that I'm amazing or anything, but there's a few things that I'm doing that I just want to bring to your attention that I'd like you to try when we get into balance. One thing I'm doing is my legs are bent. Like there's a hunch in them, or a bend in them. And what that does, or at least my belief, is that as I dip down into my legs like that, it makes my legs more responsive, right? It's like they're not extended and flat, they're not bent. They're just nice and bent, and they're awake. And what I like about that awakeness is that when you're trying to balance, there's so many micro movements that are happening that all combine to make the hoop look rather still. But in reality, your hand is constantly, moving and micro-moving to keep the hoop up. And then when you are learning those micro-movements, you can imagine that all these different body parts, all your legs, your hands, everything, they've got to learn how to talk to each other to balance. They have to learn how to talk to each other to learn to shoulder hoop. They have to learn how to talk to each other. And even though, it's very similar, every time you try a new concept, it becomes like another learning process for your body to understand the piace. Okay? So let me know if you have any questions. Tonight's going to be more of a chill class. I don't know why. I really like working on balance to like hip hop beats, like instrumental hip hop, or very maybe with just a chorus in it. And then the other night I was listening to lo-fi, and I thought, oh, this could work for some nice chill stuff. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to talk about balance. We're going to talk a little bit about ourselves, and then with the hoop hand balance, we're also going to work a little bit on what I call standing techniques, and that's when the hoop is standing up, right? Instead of hanging like we did one time on point, right? Or flying if I'm spinning around, the third position is standing, and that's essentially a hand balance. But there's other standing techniques that we can try, and so we're going to work on some of those too. All right, so you can grab a blindfold if you feel like it. I keep getting mixed reports, but I love hearing the different rituals that people have for this class or for sway. Some people say they actually don't sway, they just stretch the whole time, which is completely cool. Some people skip ahead. All right, what do you know? All right, got a new little setup here. I hope this is cool. Looks like I might be a little bit bright, but we'll see what's happening. I hope you guys can see me okay tonight. All right. Well, you do not need your hoop, and you can grab a blindfold if you have one. We're going to do some free movement called sway. Oh, wait a minute. That's confusing. I don't need that. Here we go. All right. If you're joining me for the first time, sway is free form movement. You can do anything you'd like to do. As usual, let me know if the mic and some music is okay. If you haven't done this before, I can understand that you might be a little uncertain. But the name implies so much about how to get started. Because the idea is that you are swaying from one tree to the other, from one leg to the other. And then to help us quiet the mind, or to help me quiet my mind, I lower my blindfold. I close my eyes beneath it. I feel the rhythm of the sway. And then I keep breathing until I feel myself slowly start to let go. Or maybe even beyond that point. I breathe deeply. I take a big breath in. I want to move and breathe until I'm not really thinking about either one. I want to move and breathe until I'm not thinking. Because that's the space where balance is found. It's a non-thinking space. When you finally get it, I can hold it for 5 or 6 seconds. It feels like magic at first. Because the hoop in your hand or your arm or whatever is holding it up are in piace. And that hand that holds the hoop is in piace with the arm, the shoulder, the back. Audible breath in. I don't know how anyone could be looking at the world anywhere and think that we are imbalanced. Tonight we're learning how to hoop, but we're also trying to balance ourselves. So that we are less pushed over by the things happening around us. Audible breath in. Balance. Left and right. Front and back. You and your dreams. You and your past. Tonight we're seeking to find balance in not just the hoop. But within us, to separate for 45 minutes from that. Audible breath in. Sweet, Susan, thank you. Eat and be hoopy, welcome. Okay. Audible breath in. To talk about balance, to get us warmed up and going, something that I actually find, let me make sure this is supposed to be playing. Yeah, okay. In the stories of the Maidan, they saw the body as two trees. You had one tree, which was your left side, and one tree, which was your right side. And the trees, for most people, at least when born, are strong enough that they can hold the whole body. And because they're that strong, they can develop grace with the other leg. Because the other leg doesn't have to carry as much, knowing that should it lift off the ground, nice. We're very gently going to work on balance right now. And we're going to work on it in a flowy way, where we're going to move with our shakes. We're going to move with the wobbles. We're going to consider, the floor that we're standing on more ocean-like, more water surface. So that's not us messing up but instead it's us finding balance. Audible breath in. Balance. Maybe you like to just post up as a tree would and stay there. Maybe you prefer more moving balance, that seagull type balance in the sky. But what I do encourage you to do is to feel the toes as you come up onto a foot, to relax the palm of the foot, to feel the toes. Audible breath in. way that you can add to your balance, and we're doing this obviously as a warm-up. Hopefully your heart rate is coming up. But is to change your gaze, because you'll use your gaze, you'll use your eyesight to help you balance. And so to help you develop even greater balance, to open up that capacity, as Darsha would say. Oops. Audible breath in. To open up that capacity, we look around the room. Sorry, I'll interrupt. You got the spinning wheel for a second there. As soon as I said Darsha, I went into that space instead. But looking around the room while balancing. How's the Sheila cam? Can they see? I think they can. All right. Okay, so give me one sec. I gotta. Some of you have been asking me where I live, or more specific about where I live, and I live in Chapel Hill, which is where the University of North Carolina is, which I believe is, if not the oldest, one of the oldest public universities. And then I live out in the country, and I live with my housemate Sheila, who's here on cam. And this was my idea to put her on camera, but I like it when I watch it in replay. Okay, so we're going to grab our hoops. And we're going to start off. I know this is a balance class, but we're going to start off the class with some rolling, and we're going to do some super simple rolling of the hoop around the arms. And we're going to use this as a technique to wake up the arms. Like, let's imagine that you're getting a massage from your hoop right now. Now you can see something that I'm doing right now, which is I'm moving. You can see my legs bending. I mean, obviously, you should bend your legs pretty much in everything you do, hoop-wise, most likely. But right now, I am just moving the hoop nice and gently around. And then when my arm starts to get tired or sore, or I'm just bored or just want to, then I switch to the other arm. Bring the music on now. The music is pretty chill tonight. The whole class is pretty chill, so I hope this is okay for you guys. Here, this is sort of driving me crazy. Get you a little bit better there. What's that? No, you're perfect. Yeah, perfect. All right. Oh, you turned them down. So. Okay, so here's the roll. Isn't that nice? If you're out in California and Oregon and Washington and dealing with those fires and wherever they've spread now, I send you my love and support. I know that can't do a lot, but at least know that somebody on the complete other side of the country is thinking of you. I'm using my forearm here, but you could use your hand if you want. I really recommend using the forearms though, because it's really easy to do a nice gentle toss from your forearm, almost easier than the hand, and I can just pull it back. Sweet Susan. Yeah, it's a rainy day here. We are over on this coast, we don't get forest fires as much. We get mostly hurricanes. All right, so now I can take this out here, and we're going to try our first standing move here. And we're going to try to, actually, I forgot, we're going to do one more thing. we're going to reverse it. You can stop the hoop however you can, and then we're going to go back the other way, right? This is something that a lot of people forget about sometimes. There's two currents, right? And there are two currents on your waist, just like there's two currents on your arms. I'm using my core here. And then, you know, if you guys have done, oh, sweet, Cinda. If you guys have, I hope you're all right. If you've done any kind of movement like this, it's okay. If you're a total beginner, it doesn't matter. But I'm rolling the hoop, and then I just start to roll my arm, right? I just draw a little circle with it. And the hoop's going to kind of, its weight is going to be a little bit inconsistent when you do that. And after a while, you can start to, you know, do cool things with that concept. And then if I put my hoop completely here, right? Here, but keep my hand open, then I can start to use the push from my arms, like this, well, see my elbow extending. I can start to use that on the hoop. I'll get you from the side here, maybe you can. This is such a feel thing, right? This is called spin and anti-spin. Oh, it looks kind of cool when I get it there. This is called spin and anti-spin, basically. And the reason we're doing this is a warm up to our hands. Also, I want to get your blood going before we jump up into balance. So this is me drawing circles, right? It's kind of hard. I'm drawing them the same way. Yep, that's it. Sheila's got it. And then drawing circles the other way is kind of hard. So what sometimes people will do is try to draw a triangle or just an angle or a diamond to get what's called anti-spin. You don't really see a lot of this anymore, I don't think. Honestly, I never got quite into it the way the hoop community did, because I'd been doing something very similar, but with a totally different purpose. But what I'm doing here is if I roll my hand, it's like there's the movement of the current, and then there's the movement of your hand in relationship to the current, right? So like if I was gripping the hoop, I could roll my hand, I could make the motion of my arm, and the hoop go around. I can do that, right? But if I'm going the other way to anti-spin, what I'm doing is I'm moving my hand the direction opposite that the hoop is rolling. And that creates the anti-spin. Unless I've been wrong for the last 20 years. And so what you do is you're rolling around like this, and you just try a really sudden movement, but think about going the opposite way, right? And then the one that really helped me is to try and draw a box, okay? So if the hoop is going to the right, this can be a great way to learn this, is if it's going to the right, I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to go down to this bottom corner, boom, right? And then, oh, wait, no, I didn't do that right. Okay, I'm here, I go here, and then I go here, right? And then my hand comes up here. The hoop is rolling that way. Wait a minute, I'm still doing this right. Okay, gotcha. Okay, there we go. Well, no, that's not right. Okay, of course it's not right, because you'd have to at least one time go back. Sorry, y'all. Maybe you can tell I don't do a lot of this. But more importantly, the reason I'll bring this up and then we'll just move on quickly is that the anti-spin and your movement of the hand, instead of just flagpoling all the time, adds a lot of punch and pop. So instead of my hand being way out here and I'm just like this all the time, I can put some pop on it and push it out. Like this is the kind of classic weave. And so it's the same thing when I'm rolling here. Boom, boom, boom. Love the arm burn. Yeah, it's fun. And then of course you can try any of this in other currents. And like if you stayed in the opposite current when I switched you a second ago, try it back in your first current. Because just like regular currents, usually you're a little bit better one direction. I can toss the hoop a lot higher in this direction than I can the other direction. now what we're going to work on is taking the same roll and we're going to start to add steps, weaves, and movement to it. Because we're going to start to move into our balance work. And then, of course, as always, the good thing about me not having cameras on you guys is that you can go back and do whatever you want. You know, like if you're really just digging this, or if you were really liking this feel, you see how my hand is traveling the same way as the circle? I'm putting a little pinch on it, but that's called an isolation. If I'm going the other way, though, you see how the hoop gets really sharp? I wish I had just said that from the beginning. This is you rolling with the hoop, and then this is you trying to draw a circle the other way. I'm using a mountain grip right now, where the hoop is rolling around all 5 fingers, my thumb too. But you could keep it on the palm, palm and the top of the hand, or you can definitely do this stuff on the forearms, and it's kind of nice. Every body worker that I know that either has seen me do this or does it themselves talk about it being good for the fascia, good for the layers underneath the skin. Okay, chime in if you're here, guys. I love hearing who's here. Tonight's class is pretty techy. I won't lie. But I'm going to have a nice long free hoop for you, I think, and we'll be moving into some other stuff here. All right. So we're back to our roll. And what we're going to work on right now... Oh, hey, Heather. What we're going to work on right now is body rolls. And we're going to use this rolling and all this hand stuff that we've been doing to grow a body roll. And there's a couple of different ones that we can do. One, I'm not really too nerdy about how well the hoop touches me. I think it's a beautiful thing, but I like to wear hoodies, I wear thick clothes, and sometimes it just doesn't work. So my body rolls sometimes just kind of look, they're almost like just tosses that skim. Hey Jess, they're like tosses that skim across. Now we've been doing this move, we've been trying to learn this move for a while, and this is going to be one type of body roll that we're going to do. This is a standing move. Remember at the beginning when I said sometimes the hoop stands? This is a roll. So I'm rolling the hoop on the left, and I'm rolling it to my right arm here, okay? And I'm going to slow the hoop up so that I'm not scared of it. And I'm going to take my hand, and I'm going to imagine I'm pushing it right up under the hoop and kind of going up like that. Like I'm going to imagine I'm pushing it and going up like that. And it's going to take like half a second for this to happen. Sweet Amber. All right, so we're here, and this is what the move looks like. I'm rolling to the left. It's going to my right here. So that right arm is going to go, and it's going to turn towards the left arm. Turn towards it, because I'm going to actually 180. So I'm going to go from looking at you guys to looking at the wall. So I'm here. Boom. All right. So I'm on my, spin it the other way. Yep, there you go. Now your right arm will roll up under the hoop as you're turning. Okay. I don't know if anybody can read Sheila's shirt, but it says peace, love, and sway. Some old merch that we used to have. So this is the roll. Trying to give you some space to learn this, but it's on my left hand, and I'm going to turn. Now this will really help you. Like my right leg, I'm going to the right. Everything will be opposite if you're doing it the other way. But as I turn, this leg is turning into the hoop, right? So the hoop would practically go over my shoulder anyway, right? In fact, it would really go over my shoulder. Boom. So my hand is really there to just catch it and push it over. Okay? We'll try this just a couple, 30 more seconds, and then we'll move on. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything like that. Let me know if it looks better. I think this is the final place here. Okay. good. Honestly, the best thing to do is to get used to the hoop tossing. Now, for those of you that have made it to the other side, when you come this way, right? Now, you can, like, there's loads of people that do sick body rolls on all sides, and I'm not one of them. But I can, actually, we'll get into this way as well, but as the body roll comes down, right, I can decide to push my other arm out and try to, like, walk it down my arm, which I suck at. Or I can come in, and I usually come in with a point hand so that I can just keep the action going. You know, of course, stuff happens, but generally it comes like this, and then I do some kind of grab there at the end. If you're really struggling getting into the move that I just had, just hold the hoop here. Push your arm out this way here, right? I'm holding the hoop here, I'm pushing my arm out, and there's two things I'm gonna do. I don't have to do it that hard even. I'm gonna pull it back so that the momentum starts to roll towards me. I'm gonna pull back so the momentum starts to roll towards me, and then I'm gonna raise my hand up like this. My arm's gonna turn into kind of like a hill for the hoop to roll down. So it's like this. Okay. Nice, nice. Here, I'm gonna pull it. Now, if you're wondering why would I be teaching body rolls in a balance class, because balance is really hard to do, and right now we're about to start it. 20 minutes working on balance is a long time. But what you'll see is that this is a standing move. That means the hoop is standing, and essentially it's a balance like a bicycle is in a balance. When with the bike with motion behind it, and a human, sometimes not even, will stay balanced there. So this is the move. And if you're feeling badass, you can try the other side. Maybe you're better on your left. Sometimes that happens, right? Here, I pull it back. Now, the secret, I think, is to raise your arm up, to raise it up, right? So you want a hill. Like, I'll show you sort of what I'm talking about anyway. I'm going to do this with a balance move that you'll be able to do in a second. But I'm up here. You see that? And if I tilt my fingers, you see what happens? Boom. It rolls right down my arm, right? So I'm here, and if I just put a little bit of physics on it and give it a hill for it to fall down, it'll start rolling, okay? So when I'm doing this move, same thing. I don't have to do it with my hand so much. I can just raise my arm up. See how pretty that was? Boom. All right. Well, comment. Oh, okay, I see. All right, you can't make comments on. Sweet. I'm glad you guys are digging it. I mean, the YouTube numbers are they're usually pretty good. I really like if sometimes people will ask me if there's a preference. I probably prefer everybody on YouTube, but whatever. Okay, so again, let me know if you have any questions. We're going to talk about the chest roll, and then we're going to do about 18 minutes of balance practice, and then we'll call it. I'll free hoop a little bit, but. So the chest roll for me is the exact same thing that we were doing before, where I'm holding it here. Now, I am horrible at the chest roll. All right, but if Sheila has to learn on camera, I should have to learn on camera. But I'm pretty bad at this, but you can kind of see that you can roll the hoop that way down if my arm is up here, right? So I'm here, and I can roll the hoop down. Right? Now, that's not how most people do the chest roll. What most people do, and when I first got into hooping, I think chest rolls were probably, one of the first things that really everybody was trying to do. And so I can bring the hoop down like this, get some momentum on it, let it go, and it rolls across me. So I'm using some force, or I'm putting some pep on it, and then, whoa, damn it. Okay, here we go. All right. You may be asking, why is the guy that's horrible at chest rolls teaching chest rolls right now? I don't know, but I just want you guys to see me struggle. All right, that's pretty good. We'll take that one. And then I can try to see if I have a dominant side or current somewhere, and I can. Sheila just quit. She's going home now. Here, boom. All right. So the biggest point that I want to make before we jump on balance is momentum of the hoop for body rolls will do a lot of stuff, right? Oops. And then for those of you that Sweet Jess, yeah. Jess just said that one of the best rolls or tips that she ever got was to release the hoop using one finger, pointing it in the direction of the roll. I could see why that would be useful. So the last thing I want to add to this is you can, even before we're about to get into balance, start a hand walk if you have good momentum on the hoop here. So this will be the last of these, and then we're going to get into balance. And the hand walk, I'm going to slow the hoop up just a little bit, right? I don't need it wailing. And I'm going to step into the path, right? Like, so the hoop is here, and I'm going to step into the path. I'm going to push my hands up, and I'm going to do a little bit of a hand walk, or just one. So I'm here. So I'm going to go, boom, boom. Keep hitting we got fan interference here. Not the good kind. So I'm here, and I can hand roll it, right? And then go into something else. So that move that we were doing before, where you were pushing it like that, instead of going all the way around, you'll just stop. You'll turn into it and stop, and then you can just let it go or go with the flow of whatever it does. All right, I'm going to give you about a minute and a half of no mic, and then we'll jump on the bounce. Sorry, y'all. Gosh, I'm bad about that. I just need to not turn it off. Okay, Courtney. Thank you, everybody. I'm sorry about that. I got to figure this out. I almost had it worked out where I could hear you guys, or hear what you're hearing. But you should be hearing me now. So I don't remember exactly where I was, but basically I was saying that once you practice this way, and one thing with the grip like this that you can practice on is you can find the height that you think you might be most successful in holding this, right? Let me make sure I'm sure my mic's on. Okay, now it's on for sure. Okay. Thank you, guys. So I'm here, and I'm gonna, because sometimes people will like maybe push the hands out a little bit like this, and then they like to kind of, hold the hoop down here and kind of like dolphin it back into, balance, but they hold the hoop way down here. Some people like, of course the idea is everybody goes everywhere. Almost nobody hoops balances way up there, but, Mike does. But I'm here, right? And I can sort of find the sweet spot. And when you're learning balance or anything else in hooping, it's good to like find the sweet spot first, right? And build off of that. So like, maybe this isn't where I ultimately want to only be able to hold the hoop, but I'm doing it. And then, you can sort of like, push your balance chops a little bit further by, trying to move the hoop while balancing it in this palm up way. The reason it's kind of, it takes the scare out of it because you're not going to hit anything. But once you do get any sense of it, so Sheila's doing a great job with the balance. It's easy. It's make sure you keep your eyes on it. Don't try not to look at your hands unless you are coming out of the balance. So my palms are up now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my hands out. Boom. I wasn't looking at the hoop. I'm going to roll my hands out. Okay. Now let's see if I can get a little bit closer for you guys. So now I think you can see this. My hands, the hoop is on the back of my hand. Okay. Now when it's there, it's like my brain knows that it kind of needs to listen a little bit more, right? Because it doesn't have grip. So if the hoop starts to fall, it's going to go a lot further than what it was doing before. It may even hit the ground. And so I'm going to do all the things that we talked about at the beginning. I'm going to, as I work on the back of my hand balance, I'm going to soften my elbows. You see how I have some motion there? I'm going to untuck them from the body here. And then I'm going to soften the legs, right? And then I start the long, agonizing journey of getting good at balance. There's no specific order to learning any of these things. If you are enjoying like just the sort of non-scariness of just doing it on the palm of your hand, that's totally fine. And that's how the majority of people balance. So that's not like cheating or being weird or whatever. I just like it on the back of my hand, and I teach it on the back of my hand kind of for style points with like, hoopers. And then also just, I think it looks really cool. But I teach it mostly because I think it really wakes you up. I understand that ADHD exists. I think it does, and if it does, and as it's defined to me, I have it. And so balance and hooping in general, but balance is great for me. When I got diagnosed in college, they told me that sometimes it helped people with ADHD to like have something to play with, like have something in their hands, some sort of tactile thing, like a sharp rock or something that they would, could help them focus. In a way, the hoop is much better than a sharp rock, but in a way, balance is that for me. The bandana's great when you drop it. Yep. Nice, Kelly. Nice, Sheila. Nice. So I don't know if I told you, I think y'all know this, but Sheila's been living here. She moved in to the house as our housemate, and she's been hooping 4 months. 4 months. So you can see she's gotten pretty good here. Okay, cool. We still got some time here. All right, so then there's one more cool move that we can do for a double point balance. And this is something you can work on to just get the hoop into a momentary balance and then bring it back down if you need it. But we worked on this one the other night. This is when I swing the hoop out, right? Now watch, I'm swinging it out, okay? And you can go ahead and just create that swing. There's nobody watching, and I can create that swing. And then when I swing it out, it'll be like I'm unfolding a blanket for, like, to lay it on a bed or the ground or something. I'm gonna lay it out and then drop. Ooh, almost too much of a drop. Drop my hands, and then the hoop comes up into a balance. Okay, I'll do it towards the camera so it looks cool. Right? drop the hands. If you're like, we're all coordinated in different ways. When we're learning something, sometimes it helps people to drop the legs. So instead of dropping the hands, I'll try to do it so you can see me, they drop the legs. So it swings out, drop legs. That was a major drop of the legs, but it felt pretty cool. All right, so I'll leave you alone and let you try that. I don't know if Jackie is still watching, but for anybody that has experience in balance of this kind, like where you're swinging it, you can do a cool little circuit. My hoop is just barely small enough to do this, but I can create a circuit where I swing the hoop back, come up into that balance, then swing it to the other side, and then come back up into that balance, down, kind of matador-ish. And what I'm doing right now is I am teaching my hands how to catch a hoop in balance. One of the things that I like to do is to pull a balance out of in nowhere, like almost like like I'm pulling a coin out of someone's ear. And this move helps teach you that. Swing it out, down, up. A couple of pointers and reminders. Stare at some point on the hoop. I really recommend the top point, but stare on that point, okay? Use your legs. Keep a good, nice base. Don't force anything. Don't burn your legs out, but just, drop them in a little bit. Don't look at your hands. Try not to look at your hands. That is usually where, the thing is when you're trying to learn balance, you have to be so on top of it, right? That like the time it takes for your eyes to go from looking at your hands to looking up there, it's too late. Right? So what you want to do is like when I'm swinging it out, I'm swinging it out and it's going to come here. I'm looking right there. The moment it sort of comes into this, breaks that horizon, I'm looking at it so that I can catch it in point. Exactly. Repetition, repetition, repetition. That's for sure. I'm going to let you guys practice a little bit at this. This is a long, long story to read. Let's see if I can... I added a feature tonight, guys, that I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to try it. Right, exactly. All right, so this is my new invention, the close-up cam. And I'm going to see if maybe it'll help if I got to work on this one. It was kind of a late addition. But this is the balance. Sometimes people say, like, well, what are you doing with your hands? What are you holding in your hand? How are you holding it with your hand? And this is that. Right? And then this, just for people watching on replay, this is the holding it on the palm, on the knuckles of the hand, the palm side knuckles. There. And while I'm playing with this, I may as well show you this thing. This is a little bit advanced, but you can actually, and sometimes people get it this way to start, I can use my peripheral vision or use my or outside vision to help look at the hoop. And so what I can do is I can actually look, let's see, what would be better? Yeah, I'll just do it this way. I can look at the camera, because what I'm doing is I'll hold the hoop here. I'm going to adjust the hoop until it's just filling up the frame, or like it's just to the outside of my frame of vision, right? And then when I go to release it, I'm going to look through that in my peripheral vision, or I don't know what it's called, but this outside sort of cone vision thing is holding the hoop. And so it's kind of cool because I can look around and everything. As long as I keep looking through the hoop, I can pretty much hold it almost as well as if I'm staring at it. Right? Looking at Sheila, looking at you guys, looking at the monitor, looking at close-up cam. Okay, our last balance that we're going to work on, since we're pretty much out of time. This balance is kind of like one of the reasons I wanted to talk about the roll is that this is a balance that, you know, kind of works with the roll, and I actually was doing the balance when I was showing you guys. So the balance this time is I'm going to hold my hand. Oops, let me close up cam. I'm going to hold my hand like this, right? And I'm going to put the hoop right there, right? Boom. Or some between some fingers. And I'm not going to like pinch it like that. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to use the sort of tightness of my fingers to help hold the hoop up, right? And then I'm here, and I'm going to not look here, but I'm going to look across. Okay, this is called a bow side balance. I'm going to look across at that point right there, and I'm going to let go of my hoop. And this is a 1-point balance. We were doing 2-point balances. This is a 1-point, and sometimes the reason I'm showing this on beginner night is that sometimes this is the first one people get. If you guys remember some 2-point, one way you can practice this is with 2-point. It's not that much easier, but you can bring the hand, actually it might not be easier at all, but you can bring this other hand up. I need to get out there. You can bring this other hand up so that I'm on both sides of it. For black belts, this is when you're moving the hoop from the corners. I've got the hoop at the corners, and it enables this kind of movement. I mean, you can do that other ways, but this kind of axle rotation. But for you guys, for beginners, you can use this 2-point here. If the hoop starts to fall, I can just grip it. And then what I can't emphasize enough is that the angle of the hand is everything. That's how it's balanced. The hoop is more than, rather than the hoop wanting to sort of fall to the side, it usually wants to roll forward and back. So the movement of your hand like this can really help. Let's see if I can bring close up cam for this. I don't know if this is going to be any better, but so when I'm holding the hoop here, and there's a moment where I'm pushing it down. You see how it rolls forward there? And then there's a moment where I can push it back. That's when you start to go up onto my palm there. So it's super subtle, but that's kind of the movement there. You guys have been awesome. I think that's good. Your arms are probably kicked. I think we'll move into a free hoop now. Hold it. Sweet. Let me know if you guys have some breakthroughs. We'll just play another sort of lo-fi track, but you can do any way you want to. And then we'll... You're welcome, Smith. Thank you. Well, we are having a jam. I should pull that in. Guys, we're going to be having a jam on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know that doesn't work for everybody, but that's just kind of the time it seems to be going at right now. And it's just me jamming. Sheila may be here. I'm not. I'll have the green screen up, and I'm going to try to stream some people into it with me to hoop with me. So I'm hoping that works out, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, guys, this is the free hoop from here. Thank you so much. You got it. Thank you so much. I'm glad close-up cam had a chance. You're welcome, Amber. Thank you for watching. I'm glad you got it. That's awesome. Those are my favorite kind of capital letters. Oh.
I keep feeling this pain, I take it away with some drugs. You keep playing this game, girl, you know it ain't what it was. No, there ain't no more us, you can't fake it no more. I got me a new girl, think I might be falling in love. You know she bad, her than you. Got me attached, breaking the rules. Ain't looking back, she got me on to something new. Always is bad, so I'ma get it while it's cool, yeah. Cause you know this shit will not last for too long. Sorry, forever don't happen no more. Need you for me, I need you for my own. Heart skip a beat when your name calls my phone. Is you falling for me, I need to know. Give it all up for me, I ain't gon' fold. Have me some hoes, but I'm done with that road. You is my treasure, treat you like some gold. What you scared of? You found a real one. Baby girl, I swear I'm nothing like your last one. Matter of fact, think I'm tryna be your last one. Know I got a lot of cash for you, I spent my last one. I see you got some drive, it really turned me on. The way I feel inside, I wanna turn you on. Promise to never lie, promise to hold you down. And I won't hold you back, no, cause you deserve a clown. Yeah, it's been some time, so long. Guess you were hard to find. Who knew? I wanna call you mine. Yeah, you. I gotta know it's mine. Is it true? Money the mission, I stay on my grind. Teach you to flip
Just got a
it, just stay on my
donation.
side.
Thank you guys.
When I'm
Really
up in
appreciate
it,
that.
it's fine.
Thank you.
Gripping your thighs, you ain't gotta be quiet. See pressure flows, I get lost in your eyes. Let's do them things we see on the timeline. Fuck what you heavy, just wanna go steady. So tell me you ready, cause baby I'm ready. Baby I'm ready. Baby I'm ready. You found a real one. Baby girl, I swear I'm nothing like your last one. Matter of fact, think I'm tryna be your last one. Know I got a lot of cash for you, I spent my last one. I see you got some drive, it really turned me on. The way I feel inside, I wanna turn you on. Promise to never lie, promise to hold you down. And I won't hold you back, no, cause you deserve a clown. Yeah, it's been some time, so long. Guess you were hard to find.
Thank you, everybody. This is our free hoop. We're going to chill it down now. Keep it low. Super appreciate everybody's participation tonight. Thank you, Sheila, for stepping in. She's had a couple of big days. I appreciate you showing up in your power. You are very welcome. Thank you. Okay, guys, we are down to our last song here. Thank you so much for joining me. This playlist is on SoundCloud if you guys want to check this out. And I'll put it up for you right now. Okay, guys, thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful night. The playlist has just gone up.
Honest.